Right, so we've got Gary Hughes with me. Gary, what's your role?
I'm the Chief Executive at Durham Students' Union.
I missed your session on the NSS Q23, unfortunately, but I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. So, question 23 of the National Student Survey, which we're all probably used to, looks at how people are satisfied with the support, representation, activities provided by the SU. But that this year is the last year that question has been asked, because next year, HEFCE are proposing a new question. Now that question is going to be about, we don't know the exact wording, but it will chiefly be on how the SU supports the academic experience of students on their course. And my session is pretty much going, I think we're not ready for that. Yeah. Because we spent lots of time thinking about satisfaction with anything. So you're talking llamas, bunnies, iPads, circuses, all that sort of stuff. Like as long as there's something there, love us a bit. Yeah. But if the question is, have the SU helped me on my course, have they improved my learning experience, we've got this vague feeling that it's course reps, it's fine, we've got course reps. And that's like the university saying, oh, you know, we're excellent at teaching because we've got lecture theatres, we've got timetables.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually it's a much more human experience that people have got to be able to recognise and feel something. So the session is basically exploring, what do we know about this? And imagine we got 40%, what are the implications?
Yeah.
If we got 80%, what are the implications? Because my gut is, we don't know how well we're going to do. We couldn't explain why we've done well, because we've all got the same course system, more or less.
Yeah.
We couldn't explain why we've done badly, because we're all trying to do the same sort of things. So we've radically got to think how we improve students' learning experience, because we cannot say, we've got this system.
Yeah.
If people say we're rubbish, we'll just do the system harder. That won't be a satisfactory answer. So I was exploring that with rep coordinators, membership services managers, thinking, what do we do?
Well, I'd say question 23 probably gone, and then the bank, is it going to be a bank of SU specific questions, or are they going to chuck us in with other ones?
There's going to be two sets. So student voice is going to be 4 questions.
Right.
So a new set, so there's 9 new questions looking at the academic community.
SU specific or university?
No, so there's 3 new sets of questions in the main survey, one of which is on the learning community, the academic community,
right.
One of which is on interrogative learning, and one of which is on student voice. So they're all these new student engagement questions. The SU question is currently suggested it will go in the student voice section. Now none of this is dead firmed up yet, but the student voice section will be 4 questions.
Yeah.
So something like, I've got the right opportunities to feedback on my course, my feedback, I know how my feedback has been acted upon, and the SU question will sit in there. And it will be something like, the SU has represented me well in the learning experience on my course, and that's going to be in the main NSS. There will also be an optional bank which will look at some of the other things, so maybe our societies, our events, the way we engage students broadly, but they'll be optional.
Right.
The academic learning experience will be core and will be public, and my gut is universities will suddenly care about that.
Yeah.
And SUs who've made 10 years worth of money from saying we represent students really well will suddenly get hard evidence that that may not be true.
Yeah.
And I think that is a problem we just haven't got ourselves ready for.
And it's because at the moment question 23 has, my understanding, has no correlation to any of the other questions. So it's going to be interesting to see whether students are able to understand that that question is about the Students' Union. And
yeah, statistically there isn't any correlation to any other questions, my understanding. We can correlate it to other things from the NUS survey, so like the number of staff in student-facing roles, block grant, that sort of stuff. But the current process that comes in creating these questions is they're cognitively tested with students. So the old question was rubbish because you didn't know what you were answering.
Yeah.
So the current work going on at HEFCE is that they are testing the question with students, so that they will know for certain that students are answering the question that we're asking. So if they can't recognise that the SU is part of their academic experience, the question might not get through.
Yeah, that's what, because I'm
but the pressure that's gone into it, all the responses to the white paper, to the green paper, 184 people responded, and generally about 40% said take question 23 out, get rid, but about 40% said keep it. So there's not much. So the phrasing in the report, HEFCE said, we don't have a mandate to remove this question. The sector isn't united on getting rid, so we're going to have to improve. And that's why it's going to focus on the academic experience.
It's just, depending on the wording, some students are going to see their course reps as the union course reps, but other students, they think that their university runs a course rep system.
Yeah.
And then the union will get blamed for it. Oh, it's going to be a right
Yeah.
little. So what do you reckon for unions? What do you think this will mean?
I think it means we've got to get better at education.
Nice.
I think it will be a pressure to move away from some of the social stuff. Because I think if the option is train people in understanding feedback or student-led research or putting on a petting zoo, if the university say, well, that petting zoo was nice, but it's not affecting this, we won't be able to say, oh, course web system, we're going to have to actually invest in people. So I think it's going to be, we're going to have to change our people. So with the roles that we have in SUs, the experience we have, I'd be really interested, and Brighton might be a good example actually. There are far too few SUs who actually, their strategies say we're going to do some good stuff in education. Loads of them say we'll represent students, but it doesn't seem to matter whether that's on fossil fuels, housing, mental health, and all those things are important. SUs should do them, but very few of them say we're going to understand learning. We will be the people who make a difference to teaching quality. And the fact that so very few SUs go, we will make sure the university gets better at teaching, is frankly scandalous. But now the NSS question will help us focus on that.
Force that into, Oh, it could be really cool then. Or
Hopefully.
dangerous. Alright, cool. Anything else? Any good questions in the session? Anything?
There was a bit of discussion in terms of some views on, we've got to recognise the broadness that a students' union brings. I completely get on board with that, but the NSS won't be into it.
No.
Frankly, so I think it's going to be a really interesting discussion in the sector that we've got to stop doing some things. We can't keep on doing all the same things with limited resources. If we're going to get good at improving learning experience, we're going to have to stop doing some other things or do things differently, let's say that. And that will be some interesting sector developments, I think.
Yeah, that will be a good one. Alright, cool.
Thanks very much.